Keaton? Keaton? Who am I?
Nick, that's a coconut.
Oh, sorry, Alice. Coconuts remind me of the 3 weeks I spent stranded on a Micronesian island with nothing but a coconut called Keaton, a trusty football called Bradley, and of course, last of all, Michelangelo's autobiography.
Oh, very good. I had no idea where you were going. All I thought was you needed to learn all about coconuts because there's a lot to know. We've got a bunch of different ways that you can use coconuts and we're going to go through them, have a little taste and see what we know. Now, Rishi, Emily, you both love coconuts, am I right?
Yes.
Yum. Yes. What's your favourite way to eat coconuts?
I don't have a favourite way.
Just all the ways? You were
All the
saying
ways.
butter chicken. Yes. An excellent ingredient in butter chicken, bit of coconut cream through it to make it creamy. What about you, Emily?
I just like eating the flesh.
The flesh, the flesh. I like it, like a coconut zombie.
Yeah, I like using my mouth.
Yes, very true. Well, let's start by looking at a young coconut and how to get the flesh out of a young coconut. Now, depending on how old a coconut is, it looks very, very different. These guys are the youngies. When you want to open a young coconut, get a greengrocer to help you because you need to use a nice big knife or obviously a grown-up, but this one's been opened for us. And inside is flesh, Emily, that's for you, as well as coconut water. Now we've taken some of that flesh out. What we're actually going to do is we're going to combine the flesh and the water together to make a different kind of coconut ingredient. What do you think that's going to make?
Coconut pudding?
Coconut pudding, very close, because it makes coconut cream and coconut milk. Let's give the water a taste and see what that tastes like. In fact, I'm going to pour it right out of here because this is the best way. What we do at home is we pour it into a jug because it's got a nice big opening.
Looks tasty.
Oh yeah. This feels very primal doing this. Look how full that one is. And in fact, picking a young coconut is all about picking it up and giving it a shake. It needs to feel really heavy because that means that it's got lots of flesh and water inside. And it needs to slosh around so you know that it hasn't been sitting around drying out. Now let's pour a little bit of this into each of these glasses. Rishi, you can do the honours. There you go.
Thank you. Very tasty.
Lovely. A little bit there as well. Now, the coconut, interestingly enough, is actually a fruit. It's known as a xylocarp, that's xylocarp with an X, and it's a hard-shelled, soft inside fruit. Let's give this a taste. Describe what you're tasting. So fresh.
It's really sweet.
Really sweet. And in fact, coconut water contains the same sort of minerals and elements as human plasma. So often when people are dehydrated, coconut water is what is used to rehydrate them.
Rishi's very kindly rehydrated the bench.
Yes, he has. Now, speaking of rehydrating, we've also got some dehydrated ways with which we can use coconut. But while we do that, Nick, I'm going to get you to pop the flesh and the water into the blender.
Alrighty.
Lovely. Pop them in there.
So, Rishi, some of that in there.
Okay.
Yeah. In goes the flesh.
Oh.
Oh. Now that you're nice and strong from that coconut water.
Yes.
And then in goes a little bit of the water.
Oh, can I trust you, Rishi?
Yeah.
Just half of it, mate.
Yeah. Now we want to pour a little. We want to pour a little bit in at a time.
That's all right, not to worry.
Because
I didn't like
depending
these pants anyway.
depending on how dry the coconut flesh is, you might need a little bit more liquid or a little bit less. Okay, now whiz that up.
Pants, have you got enough liquid there?
That's why we wear an apron in the kitchen. Now, on that goes. Excellent. Now, Emily, as you said, coconut pudding is a fantastic option. So once that whizzes up, that's looking good, Nick. We're going to strain it. Now, we've got a strainer over here, a sieve and a bowl. Do you want to pour the coconut flesh and water into there?
You know what? I don't want to pour it. I think Rishi wants to pour it.
Rishi, give it a pour. I love it.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Oh, nice.
Now,
All in the bowl.
the key with scooping the flesh out of the inside of a young coconut is to use a spoon that fits inside the hole. So this spoon here fits right in there and the flesh scoops right out. And I like to eat the flesh on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want some of this, Emily?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'll just pop it on your hand. It's a bit of a coconut pudding already, isn't it?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Rishi, do you want to try it?
Okay.
Nice. There we go. Nick, there you go.
Thanks.
You can eat that. What does it taste like?
Coconut.
Coconut. Very sweet, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a fruit, so it's got a real natural sweetness to it, which is why it's great for dessert recipes, especially gluten-free ones, which brings us to all of these dehydrated versions. Now, as the coconut gets older, the flesh dries out, which means that it can start to be used almost like a flour replacement, I suppose, which this is. Have a feel of that.
Wow, it's just like flour.
It's exactly like flour.
Is it flour?
It's coconut flour. So, yeah, so what they do is they whiz it up and then they dehydrate it. And the reason why it would be used is, let's say you're gluten-free, you don't want to use a regular flour, you can sub it out for coconut flour in cakes, in pancakes, for example, anything where flour is used. Now, I'm going to give you a little, in fact, I'm going to give you a taste of this. It's much more delicious. This is some desiccated coconut. There you go. I'm going to pop some on your palm.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
the great thing is they're so high in fibre as well, aren't they? Alison? Rich in vitamins, you know.
It's a really tasty and nutritious treat, even on its own. In fact, it's a really good source of natural fat as well. So if you're feeling particularly hungry, often athletes will eat coconut manna, which is like the coconut flesh dried out. Now, again, talking about coconut as a replacement, you can replace coconut sugar instead of refined sugar. Now, coconut sugar doesn't come from the fruit itself. It comes from the coconut, the palm, the sap of the coconut palm flour. So, do you want to taste some of that?
Okay.
There you go. Why not? Now,
A bit too hungry.
a bit too hungry. Again, you can use it to replace, but you can also use it.
Rishi, you enjoying that, mate?
Yes, brilliant. You can also use it to make caramel, a refined sugar-free caramel, which is amazing, like a praline. Now, the other reason that coconut is so fantastic is that you can use the oil to cook on, and that's a really great high-temperature oil. So it's used for frying, used for curries, for example. Do you want to give that a taste as well? Some people even use it. Some people even eat it. As a bit of a treat in the mornings. Coconut oil, believe it or not, like a teaspoon of coconut oil. Yeah. And they even use it as a treatment for their hands. If they've got sunburn, they can pop some coconut oil. So maybe rub that on your hands, Nick, see how that feels. What do you think? Now, all this info can be found on our website, but the great thing is that there are still so many things to discover about this coconut. Check it out. What does that look like to you, Emily?
Monkey.
A monkey! Amazing, because guess what? Coconut,
Keaton,
the word,
is that you? Oh, sorry.
the word actually originates from the word cocoa, which means monkey. Well done. Well done, you. Coconuts, full of facts, full of reasons to go coconuts for them. We're going to go for a break, and by the time we come back, all this is going to be eaten.
Awesome.